Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie. If you're new here, welcome. So today's video is how I made over $20,000 selling on Etsy ever since I started my shop 2 years ago. So it's crazy. It's been 2 years because I started my shop in like June of 2022. It's been exactly 2 years. I just have like my notes on the side. But in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys how I was able to make $20,000 as a complete beginner, like with no tech skills, no graphic design skills, no background or knowledge in how to make digital products like printables. And if I can make $20,000 too, maybe that might not seem like a lot to some other people who are probably making a lot more than me. But if you just even the thought of like making, you know, $1,000 on Etsy seems like a faraway goal, like I just want to tell you that it is so possible. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 things that I did over the past 2 years that have led me to making over $20,000 on Etsy. Let's go ahead and get started. One of the biggest questions that a lot of people ask when it comes to starting an Etsy shop is how much can you make? That is a very good question because it really varies just depending on what you sell. So it kind of varies on several factors such as what type of niche you're in, and another thing is how are you presenting it? It also depends on how you present the product itself. That can also influence how you price it. The third one can be like quantity in terms of like, are you selling it in a bundle or are you selling it as an individual worksheet or printable? And you know, depending on how many pages there are in that certain product, is it an ebook and whatnot, like that really does influence your pricing as well. So with that said, I gave you guys like a really long answer, but it depends. That's the short answer. Okay, so with that said, let me jump into those 5 tips on how I was able to make $20,000 at starting my Etsy journey. So the first one is that I chose a low competition and high demand niche. So I sell educational decor, and when I first started, like I again like knew nothing about graphic design and whatnot. So I had to do a lot of market research to kind of see what people were selling. I knew that I didn't want to sell educational worksheets and I didn't want to sell like print on demand products. One of the tools that I would recommend you to use is Pinterest. Pinterest is a visual search engine. So when you're searching up maybe products that you're interested in selling or creating, you can see on Etsy, you can see on Pinterest, like search up that keyword or that niche and see like what comes up. You can decide, like what kind of color palette you want to go with, what kind of design or layout you want to create. And that really helped me as well. Like for example, picking types of fonts. Like I really did look at what were the most popular fonts that people were using in this niche and what kind of colors were people more interested in, because I realized like a lot of people like boho types of colors depending on the season. You know, when you just think of education, right? Like it's a lot of color too as well, like a lot of bright, colorful things. And so I really try to make sure I create that or keep that in mind when I'm creating. Oh my gosh, my hair is just not doing it today, guys. I'm sweating so much, but when I put my hair up, my hair looks so flat. Okay. Anyways, number 2, I focus on Etsy SEO. And SEO is basically search engine optimization, and there are different media channels where you can do SEO. For example, there's Google SEO, Etsy, even YouTube. When I first started my shop, I would basically see what my competitors were using in their titles because, you know, these are big Etsy sellers that know what they're doing. So I would look at their page and see, oh, okay, so these are some of the keywords that they're using. I'm gonna like create different variations of it, but I'm also gonna take some of those keywords and put them in my title, my descriptions, and my tags, you know, if they fit. And that really helps me boost my rankings. And I think one of the biggest things that I can give you as a beginner, well, when I was a beginner, is be descriptive in your titles. For example, if I was selling like an educational worksheet, I would put like 2nd grade grammar worksheet instead of like elementary school worksheet. You know, that's very vague and it's for a wide range. So when Etsy sees sees that or like looks at that, they're gonna probably put you in the category of people who are selling elementary school. If you're more specific and you put second graders or second grade, you have a higher chance of ranking. If someone's actually typing in the search bar and they're typing up like second grade grammar worksheets, then yours has a higher chance of ranking for that. That's what you want, especially when you're just starting your Etsy shop. You really want to be descriptive for those first like 1 to 5 words in your title. I think that really helps me boost my sales. And also Etsy just loves like new sellers because they want to keep you on their platform to sell, because they're also making money too. Okay, and then the third tip is I stayed consistent. I think I literally spent 6 months straight just creating every single day, like even on the weekends. I think that's what really helped me to be on the first pages for Etsy in this niche, because like I was creating so many different variations of these keywords and I basically became an authority in this niche, I guess. You know, I truly believe that the more products you create, the higher chance you have of making a sale, especially in the beginning of your Etsy journey. You just want to keep creating, not for just the sales, but to also build that practice, you know, doing content creation. I can guarantee it, if you are a beginner like me, you're gonna start off really slow when it comes to figuring out like how to use Etsy's platform and how to use Canva if you use Canva for graphic design. That's what I use, and I remember when I was first starting off, it took me like 5 hours to create just like one printable from start to finish, like to hit that publish for my listing. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, if this is gonna be like this, you know, during my whole Etsy journey, like I'm spending so much time. Now, like I just take sometimes like even less than 30 minutes to create a product. It's kind of crazy, but I have really sped up my process just from doing it so much. Again, it kind of varies on like how many products you're creating, like if it's a bundle or if it's just an individual page. You know, everyone's journey is gonna look so different, but if I had just stopped creating like 1 month in, I wouldn't have been able to make this video for you guys and tell you that I made, you know, over $20,000. A big part of why I was able to do that is because I didn't stop at making my first $1,000. Like I kept going, I kept creating, and I want you guys to do the same. Like even if you feel discouraged, like don't let that stop you from the possibilities of where your Etsy shop could go. Sorry, not to get too deep, but just don't stop creating. Number 4 is one of the best things that you can do from the start of your Etsy journey is to ask for customers to review. Just kindly ask them, you know, like, would you spare 2 minutes to, you know, like rate your product or give me feedback on the purchase that you made, because that could really help build your credibility for your Etsy shop. If someone sees that you have like 0 stars or 0 reviews compared to someone who has 5 reviews and you're selling very similar products, like guess who that buyer is going to purchase from? You know, it's probably the latter. But I think like that is just how like psychologically consumers buy things, is like we want to build trust with the seller, right? And a way to build trust is to build credibility, and a way to build credibility is to get people to review your things. And if you're not really sure like where to get those reviews, ask 3 people in your life to support your Etsy shop. Because when I first started, I asked my sister, she was my first Etsy purchase, and then I asked her boyfriend to support my shop, and then I asked him to review it, and that really helps me get my Etsy shop off the ground. As I think my third sale was a complete stranger, and that I freaked out basically. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But yeah, I would ask your support system to help you out, especially I'm sure that they would love to. So that is my 4th tip and what I did to, you know, build my Etsy shop. The 5th tip that I have for you guys, and the thing that I feel like really helped me, is to just focus. Like what I did was I just focused on the things that mattered. So for example, I knew that having only a handful of products, like 5 products, wasn't gonna give me any sales. So I knew that I had to just keep creating, even if it didn't lead to anything in the beginning. When we're starting any business or just any project, we want that instant gratification, right? But that's unfortunately not gonna happen if you don't put in the work. For me, like, I knew that's what mattered. That was kind of the foundation of like this whole Etsy journey, was to keep going. Like, I also knew that SEO really mattered. If I didn't add any tags to my products, like, it didn't really, like, I wasn't really helping myself. If you skip that part, like, you're not really helping yourself rank. So another thing that I had to do was to set boundaries in terms of looking at my competitors, because I remember early on in my journey, like, I was comparing myself to a lot of people who were making sales, like a lot of sales more than me, who had a lot more reviews, knew what they were doing. And yeah, I just remembered I would get so stuck on like seeing like these stats from other people. It would just make me really discouraged. But when you fix your eyes on what's important, whether that's creating the product or learning more about market research, you're not going to worry so much about what other people are doing. And that's what I really encourage you to do on this Etsy journey is, you know, don't fixate so much on your competitors. Yes, it's not a bad thing to get inspired, but you know yourself. And if you're someone who can easily get discouraged and who tends to compare yourself to other people, set those boundaries. Comparing yourself is honestly a waste of time, guys. And I think when I started to do less of that, like instead of like constantly looking at other people's pages, I saved a lot of that time and I just rededicated it to like creating and to learn more about Etsy and how it works. And with that said, those were the 5 tips that I believed really helps me to grow my revenue on Etsy. It is so possible to be making X amount of money on Etsy, and I truly believe, like, even if you're a beginner, even if you feel like you are not gifted or talented in creating, you know, like, trust me, I literally knew nothing when I first started, but I think if you have the ambition and you have a vision of where you want to be, like, that is going to carry you even when things get tough. You guys got this, okay? But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. If you want 40 free listings to go ahead and start your Etsy shop, I'm going to leave a link down below. And if you guys have any questions, do let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to answer them if I can. So anyways, I will see you guys and talk to you guys soon. Bye! It is so hot.